The final moments and tragic death of Soundgarden's Chris Cornell. On June 2, 2017, the Wayne County Medical Examiner released its autopsy and toxicology report in the death of Cornell. The medical examiner confirmed that the cause of death was hanging and the manner of death was ruled as suicide, adding that Cornell's injuries were all consistent with hanging, partially suspended by the resistance exercise band, and that drugs did not contribute to the cause of death. No pills were found in Cornell's stomach. Cornell's widow stated that the Ativan was prescribed to him in 2016 as a sleep aid. Photos from Cornell's hotel room showed that his prescription for Ativan was one tablet every 12 hours. Cornell's widow contacted insurance lawyer Kurtcobain within a few minutes after her husband's death. Cobain became the spokesperson for the widow and blamed Ativan for the singer's death, stating that Cornell would not intentionally take his own life. Cornell's widow said, "When we spoke after the show, I noticed he was slurring his words. He was different. When he told me he may have taken an extra Ativan or two, I contacted security and asked that they check on him." Following the release of the autopsy and toxicology report, Cornell's widow released a statement to the press. "Many of us who knew Chris will notice that he wasn't himself during his final hours and that something was very off. We have learned from this report that several substances were found in his system. After so many years of sobriety, this moment of terrible judgment seems to have completely impaired and altered his state of mind. Something clearly went terribly wrong, and my children and I are heartbroken and are devastated that this moment can never be taken back. We very much appreciate all of the love and we have received during this extremely difficult time and are dedicated to helping others in preventing this type of tragedy." 3 weeks after his death, the music video for Cornell's single, "Nearly Forgot My Broken Heart," was removed from YouTube. Released in September 2015, the video depicted the singer as a death row prisoner in the Old West who survived hanging. Cornell's son, Christopher, also appeared in the video. Cornell publicly talked about his struggle with depression, isolation, and suicidal thoughts several times throughout his life. This started after Cornell stated he had ingested PCP for the first time and only time, causing a deep scar on his psyche. This changed his life overnight. He said he became an introvert, experienced anxiety and depression, dealing with this period for over 2 years. Following Cornell's death, his older brother, Peter, started a campaign to raise awareness of depression and suicide prevention. A few days later, Peter revealed that he was being bullied and threatened to change the narrative of his awareness message, stating, "This bullying is coming from a place I never could have imagined." In October 2017, Peter reacted to criticism directed at him on social media by his brother's mother-in-law. He talked about the stigma surrounding mental illness and the addiction narrative being spun by his brother's widow and her family to explain Cornell's death, stating, "And there is that word again, stigma. Somehow it's sexy to be an addict, of which I am also familiar. But let's not talk about mental illness. Stigma, there are those who re-victimize and bully us, taunt, and demand us to relive and tell the details of our painful upbringing. To what end? It doesn't erase the damage done. It doesn't turn back the hands of time. We are survivors." On November 1st, 2018, Vicky Cornell and her children filed suit on Los Angeles Superior Court, claiming that Dr. Robert Coblin negligently and repeatedly prescribed dangerous mind-altering controlled substances to Chris Cornell, which impaired Mr. Cornell's cognition, clouded his judgment, and caused him to engage in dangerous impulsive behaviors that he was unable to control, costing him his life. The suit claims Coblin denied all accusations of negligence and said that Cornell was well aware of the risk inherent to the medication, which he was taking to treat anxiety. Coblin ordered Cornell the first prescription of lorazepam in September 2015. Cobain insisted that he did everything within his power to help Cornell and that a malpractice law should shield him from being sued. In April 2021, the two parties settled on a confidential agreement. Like and follow for more wild stories in rock music.